South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south-of-the-border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Hi, I'm Kurt Angle. I represented the United States in the Olympics in 1996 and won a gold medal. Then I parlayed that into a pro wrestling career. I saw a commercial a few years ago.
Tunnel to Towers Foundation made a promise.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation is paying off the mortgages for Gold Star families with young children. I thought, this is really cool. I want to be a part of it. My dad served in the Army for 30 years. We didn't have a lot of money, but he made sure we had what we needed. He set a great example for all of us. He died in a construction accident my freshman year in high school. When he died, we didn't have any income coming in, and we ended up being forced to move out of our house. I was devastated. So I understand what these families are going through, and to have an organization like Tunnel to Towers come in and pick you up and carry you and give you a home to live in, I think that's just amazing. I'd like to ask you to donate $11 a month to support these efforts by going to t2t.org or calling 1-844-BRAVEST.
The Southern California Thoroughbred Racing Circuit is back at Los Alamitos Racecourse with 9 great days of racing starting on Friday, June 20th. The opening weekend will feature the $100,000 Bertrando Stakes. Plus, the summer meet will include the running of the Los Alamitos Derby on Saturday, June 28th. We'll also have a holiday racing program on Friday, 4th of July. And our on-track handicapping contest will be on Saturday, June 28th. Daytime racing returns to Los Alamitos. Opening day is Friday, June 20th.
The following is a Race Day Las Vegas presentation in association with Siraco Productions Limited on the Race Day Las Vegas Radio Network.
Live from the gaming capital of the world, time for Race Day Las Vegas, covering the sport of kings with a Las Vegas perspective. Now to the race desk with your host, Ralph Siraco.
From the backstretch to the turf club, at the racebooks and on the internet, to all horse players around the world, a good morning.
Alrighty, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Race Day Las Vegas radio program for this Thursday as we ramp up to the 4th of July weekend, which just happens to be tomorrow. 4th of July. Yeah, today's the 3rd of July already. It's Thursday, 3rd of July. Your almost Friday holiday race day show. We come to you live and direct from the gaming capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, right here at our studio station at the South Point Studios on the Strip at the South Point Hotel Casino Complex here on the Las Vegas Strip, and of course streaming at the South Point Studio, streaming at YouTube. We welcome you to the show. And of course all of those listening to us on our anchor radio station here in town, Sports Talk 1400 AM, 107.1 FM, websites, racedaylasvegas.com, .vegas.world, .global, iPhone, Android, Google phone, covered with your apps. Get the KSHP app. You can listen to us through the radio station, YouTube app. Of course, you can see and hear us as well there on their app, on your devices, and anywhere you get your podcasting as well. We're there everywhere. So welcome to our show, however, wherever, whenever you get us. We are ramping up, obviously, for the big 4th of July weekend that happens tomorrow. It kind of is unusual that the 4th of July, which is usually the end of a 3-day weekend, becomes the beginning of a 3-day weekend, because people will be they're already traveling up all of the highways here to Las Vegas, going over the Boulder Dam and coming in from Southern California. So the arteries coming into Las Vegas, as far as the cars and the autos are concerned, are already jamming up, and we expect about 340,000 of our closest guests to arrive and enjoy what Las Vegas has to offer. And of course, the big firework display. It looks like it's going to be okay for the fireworks tomorrow. And I can tell you this, we've had weird weather here in Las Vegas for the last week. The pendulum has really swung from one side to the other. 2 days ago, we had gale force winds that got up to 70 miles an hour going through here in Las Vegas. So much so that the big, huge electric poles, that carry the electricity, and the big, huge street light poles. I'm not talking about the little ones. I'm talking about the huge ones, that are the wind in the part where was Tropicana Avenue was so fierce that it knocked them down to the ground. And there was a lot of wind damage in parts of Las Vegas a couple of days ago. I know it was, like I explained yesterday, it was pretty windy where I live, but not anywhere near knocking down poles and trees and all that stuff. But that did happen here in Las Vegas, and they're trying to restore power to those areas as we speak and get those big, huge, if you saw the pictures anywhere, the big light poles fell right across the street. You couldn't even drive down the street, so it was pretty bad here. Yesterday, what the weatherman said would be clearing up by about 10 o'clock yesterday morning. We just had rain throughout the day, the monsoon type of rain throughout the day. Didn't get clear till the evening, but I can tell you this morning it's great. It's beautiful out right now. 79 degrees right now here in Las Vegas. We're going to get up to only 99 today. Probably it'll be a little bit higher in humidity than we'd like, because there's still a lot of moisture in the air. But the weatherman says that it'll be sunny and bright for the rest of the weekend. And we're looking at the low hundreds by the time you get to the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And we're crossing our fingers that none of that wind comes up again, because the fireworks will not be allowed to shoot off tomorrow night if the winds get too heavy. So with all that said, we're still going to have a lot of fun, because Las Vegas has a lot to offer to you, including racing at our race books here in town, especially here at the South Point, where they love horse players. So it'll be always fast, firm, and perfect here in the race book. As far as the rest of the country, we understand that there's going to be a lot of precipitation in the mid part of our country, and both the west and the east looks like is going to be pretty good for the holiday weekend. However, I understand that at Saratoga, where they open up the 4-day 4th of July holiday festival racing at Saratoga, the 4 days, today, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, and then come next Thursday, it's actually the Saratoga meeting. But for the 4-day meeting there at Saratoga, we understand that it rained a little bit this morning there at Saratoga. We'll get the latest from Jonathan Ardoon, who can just stick his head out the window and tell us what's going on. And so it looks like that's going to be the weather there. So we'll wait and see about that. And we do. We begin not only Saratoga for the 4-day weekend here, but also Ellis Park will start its long run. It goes through the end of August. I think August 24th is the last day at Ellis Park. So that'll be the summertime racing there. But the racing at Ellis Park has sure built up. The racing at Ellis Park is getting to be real nice. Of course, you know, Churchill Downs bought it. And so they're really building up the racing there, where a lot of the purses are getting better. The inventory is getting better, and a lot of the jockeys that normally would not ride at Ellis are riding there as well. So Ellis Park starts today as well. And, of course, as you know, Los Alamitos in Southern California will wrap up their meet, the last 3 days of their meet, tomorrow, 4th of July, Saturday and Sunday. But, of course, the Great Lady M, the big stakes race there, the greatest stakes race there over the weekend as well. And then we'll get down to Del Mar. But Del Mar doesn't open until the 18th of this month. So that's where we're at right now. But we're going to have a really fun 4th of July weekend, because I could tell you, tomorrow on 4th of July proper, on Friday, there's going to be 6 tracks with 15 stakes races overall. So it's going to be a big day of racing tomorrow, and, of course, Saturday and Sunday as well. And we've got some great races coming up with some good competition in it, with some nice horses that are going to be making their way back. One of them, Flying Mohawk, was entered into the Belmont Derby that happens tomorrow on 4th of July. He was last seen finishing 18th in the Kentucky Derby, but he had emergency surgery. He contracted colic. He got colic, and they had emergency surgery. Colic is life-threatening to horses. So he got colic, but they caught it in time. They had emergency surgery, and they say that he is doing fine now. Obviously, he will not be running in the Belmont Derby tomorrow. But the ownership posted a post on X, update from the barn, says Flying Mohawk had emergency colic surgery this morning. And that, of course, was posted yesterday. He's recovering well, thanks to the team that got to him in time, but will scratch, obviously, from the Belmont Derby. And so that's it as far as Flying Mohawk. He escaped some emergency situations with colic. All right, well, we come up to Saratoga. And I'll go over this a little bit with Jonathan Hardoon as well. But when you come up to Saratoga, it's kind of a unique racing meet there, as it always is. Of course, you know, with these 2 little pops that go up there, like for the Belmont Festival, now for the 4th of July Festival as well, because Belmont Park is being rebuilt right now. But it's still an unusual racetrack to race at. Now, most of our handicappers tell us that Saratoga is kind of like a racetrack that horses for courses. They like it there. But during the summer meet at Saratoga, of course, you know, everybody wants to win a race there, like they do at Del Mar in Southern California. And they unleash some of the great well-bred 2-year-olds during their meet as well. So keep that in mind. But as far as, let's say, the jockeys are concerned, we'll take the last year. And as far as the jockeys are concerned, Irat Ortiz Jr., this is on the main track now, has 57 wins out of 318 mounts. Now remember, this is going back a year through now, okay? But the jockey that has the best win percentage at Saratoga, believe it or not, is Flavien Prat. Flavien Prat has a win percentage of 20.3% there. This is for, of course, overall. This is overall for Ortiz and Pratt. As far as the dirt track, breaking it down on the dirt track, Ira Ortiz Jr., out of the 57 wins, had 37 of them on the main track. But again, Flavien Prat, when you break it down to just the main track, has a win percentage, the highest win percentage at 22.1%. Believe it or not, on the main track at Saratoga in the past year, Luis Saez has had the worst percentage of only 12.8% wins. Now, as far as the turf, when they run on the turf at Saratoga, Irad again has the most turf wins with 20. I take that back. He does not. He has 20 wins on the turf. Flavien Prat, who had 21 winners on the turf, has the best win percentage of 18.1%. And again, when you look at only on the turf, Joel Rosario has the worst percentage on the turf, just 7%. So taking a look at those percentages, overall, you've got Mr. Irad and Flavien Prat, which usually dominates on the jockey standings anyhow, as the top guys there. But Pratt seems to be the leader percentage-wise in all of those categories. Now, looking for the jockey that is the best percentage jockey as far as value is concerned. All right, we're talking about payoffs. The most valued jockey, the jockey has the most value in the top 10 is Dylan Davis. Dylan Davis, his performances and his win prices on his performances really are the most valued out of Saratoga. So let's keep that in mind. I'm sure that Jonathan Ardoon is kind of calculating that in his mind right now, and we'll get his thoughts about that a little bit later on. All right, on today's show, we do have Jonathan Hardoon. Rich Eng will be with us for a pick. John Lindo will be with us. John Lindo is going to be in studio tomorrow and Saturday as well. And, of course, we got Jerry J's picks as well. By the way, Jerry J is wrapping up his vacation, so I don't know if he'll be with us over the 4th of July weekend, but he is wrapping up his vacation now. And as far as yesterday was concerned with the selections, yesterday's selections, Dwayne Carlucci did it again for us. Carlucci came through. He gave us a horse in the 8th race at Horseshoe, Indianapolis. Uncle John won with Ramos aboard, paying $5.20 there for our selections yesterday. We only had 2 selections yesterday, but Carlucci came up with a winner there. Okay? And we'll take our first break right now, and when we come back, we'll give you a racing menu, take a look at the weather around the country, which we already explained looks pretty good today. And then we'll get started with our handicappers, Jonathan Hardoon, Rich Eng, and John Lindo as well. And, of course, I do have Jerry J's picks for you at Saratoga today. So without any further ado, I want to remind everybody out there that when you're on the YouTube page, if you haven't already and you want to chat away on the chat box, guys are doing great on the chat box here. You just go to the YouTube site, you punch in South Point Studios, you get to that page, then you punch on the Race Day Las Vegas icon, you get to our page, and then on the right-hand side you'll see submit the chat box. All you have to do is subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, it's free, and then you can start chatting, okay? We'll be right back.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
The Southern California Thoroughbred Racing Circuit is back at Los Alamitos Racecourse with 9 great days of racing starting on Friday, June 20th. The opening weekend will feature the $100,000 Bertrando Stakes. Plus, the summer meet will include the running of the Los Alamitos Derby on Saturday, June 28th. We'll also have a holiday racing program on Friday, 4th of July. And our on-track handicapping contest will be on Saturday, June 28th. Daytime racing returns to Los Alamitos. Opening day is Friday, June 20th.
All right, back on Race Day Las Vegas, taking a look at the weather around the country today. It looks pretty good as far as the weather is concerned. A lot of rain going on in Texas, northern Arizona, and in Utah. And there's a big front that has already moved east off the shores in the southeast along the Florida line there. And like I said, New York, there is a little spattering there. I understand that they had really a hard rain for about 30 minutes this morning at Saratoga. But, you know, that track does well. It'll dry out quick as long as it doesn't rain anymore. As far as the temperatures are concerned, Miami, 86 degrees. What a chance some rain down there, as well as Tampa, 85. They're both going to have a little rain down there today. New York City, some drizzles and 90 degrees. That's, woof, man, it's going to be humid there. Chicago, 90 and sunny. And, of course, in Los Angeles, 80 degrees and beautiful weather there, but there's no racing in Southern California today. As far as the top temperature in the nation, you guessed it, Phoenix, Arizona, again, going to be 99 degrees. And we might tie that at 99 as well. They actually have us sitting there at the same 99 degrees. So we tied them for the top today. All right, here's the racing menu of racetracks available today in the Racebook simulcast centers and racetracks around the country. Want to remind you, as we always do, the first post times we broadcast on the show each and every day reflect that of the Pacific time zone because that's where we're at here in Las Vegas. These will be the first post times that roll out in our Racebook today here at South Point. If you're listening anywhere else around the world in so many different time zones, adjust the time zone from wherever you're at to the Pacific time zone. Tweak it out, and then you won't miss anything like I miss Mom and Dad, okay? Here we go. We begin with Delaware Park. Delaware Park's first post time for their 8 races today is at 9:30 at Delaware Park today. Presque Isle Downs is next. Presque Isle Downs has 8 races. Their first post time is at 9:30. Balterra Park. They've got 8 races today. Balterra does, and Balterra's first post time is set at 9:35 at Balterra. Ellis Park, opening day there at what they call the Pea Patch. The Pea Patch in Kentucky, Ellis Park. 9 races today on opening day and a first post time of 9:50 at Ellis Park for his opening stanza today. Belmont at Saratoga. It's back there for 4 days, and Belmont, Saratoga, opening day there. First post time is 10:10 at Belmont at Saratoga today. They have 11 races, and the feature race today is the 8th on the card. Well, actually, there's 2 feature races. The Victory Ride for 3-year-old fillies at 6.5 furlongs is the 3rd race on the card. A field of 5 there, and the 8-5 favorite is Indy Bay. The 9-5 second choice is Echo Sound, and the 2-1 third choice is Beauty Reigns. So although there's only 5 fillies in this race, it might be a good chess game here in the Victory Ride, which is the 3rd race on the card. Now, the 8th race, the Wild Applause at a mile on the inner turf for 3-year-old fillies, scheduled for the inner turf for 3-year-old fillies, is the 8th race on the card. There are a couple of scratches in that race, number 3 especially, and number 8, Ruth. The 3 and 8 are out of the Wild Applause. The 9-5 favorite there is Playing with Fire with Flavia Pratt aboard there at Belmont at Saratoga. Now, they say it's light rain and 73 degrees at post time, but they say the track is fast and the turf courses are firm. The Mellon Turf Course will host races 7 and 10. The Inner Turf Course will have races 8 and 11. Fast, firm so far there at Belmont at Saratoga. And a first post time there of 10:10 for the opener, 10:10 for their 11 race card today at Belmont at Saratoga. Penn National is next. Penn National has a first post time for 7 races set at 11 a.m. Then you've got Horseshoe Indianapolis, 9 races. They've got 8 thoroughbreds. The last race will be a quarter horse race there at Horseshoe Indianapolis, and a first post time of 11:10 there. Woodbine, north of the border, they have 8 races today. A couple of carryovers. Their Pick 6 jackpot carryover, $45,172. And their Super High 5 jackpot carryover, $85,372. 8 races, first post time 12:10 at Woodbine. Hawthorne Racecourse has 8 races. Hawthorne Racecourse has a small Pick 6 carryover, a regular Pick 6 carryover, $518. They have a Super High 5 carryover of $2,098. They have 8 races, and their first post time is at 12:40. Canterbury Park kicks in with their racing program at 2 o'clock. The first 3 races will be quarter horses. The last 7 will be thoroughbreds. That makes up the 10-race card today at Canterbury Park, and a first post time of 2 o'clock this afternoon. Then you've got Prairie Meadows coming up next. 10 races, 7 thoroughbreds, 3 quarter horse races today at Prairie Meadows. The first 3 races there are quarter horse races. They have a Pick 6 jackpot carryover. Make that a Pick 5 jackpot. I keep making that mistake. Pick 5 jackpot carryover at Prairie Meadows. $12,724. Pick 5. Prairie Meadows' first post time is at 2 o'clock. Evangeline Downs kicks in with 8 races at 3:30. And then Emerald Downs from the Great Northwest has 10 races, and their first post time is at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. at Emerald Downs today for their 10-race card. We wrap it up with Charlestown. Charlestown, I take that back. We wrapped it up with Emerald Downs, but Charlestown is before that. Their first post time for 8 races is set at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. at Charlestown with a Pick 6 jackpot carryover of $2,776. That is your menu for today. We now go to Jonathan Ardoon standing by at Saratoga. How is the weather, Jonathan? Good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. It's overcast. Showers came through earlier. They got about 1/10 of an inch, but they're supposed to clear out, and they haven't had rain in a couple of days, so I'm sure the turf course will be fine, and they probably had the main track sealed.
Well, we've got a couple of interesting stakes races today. The Victory Ride has only got 5 fillies in the race, but it seems like by virtue of the morning line only, it's going to be a little chess game between Indy Bay, Echo Sound, and Beauty Reigns.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Indy Bay may have a bit of an edge. She won last time out at Saratoga during the Belmont Festival here. So she has a race over the track. You know, the one also ran that day, but Indy Bay beat her. So, you know, why not go with Indy Bay again? She looks tough. Safi Joseph and Irod Ortiz.
Now, you know, and I know both that you guys keep telling us that Saratoga is one of those racetracks where it's like horses for courses. If they like the course up there, they're going to perform well.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. You know, there are horses that come up here and excel. The weather here is different than it is downstate. It's cooler, and it's just better on horses up here, more roomy. Even when they go out by their stalls, there's usually, you know, a grazing area and everything else that goes with it. So horses seem to thrive up here, as do people.
And, you know, I got to tell you that Saratoga is not a big town. It's just a perfect-sized town that really embraces horse racing from the very fiber of the community. Everybody, as a matter of fact, you know, it's kind of funny to see them stopping traffic on the road when the horses walk over the road to the other side and by. It was really great, and I think that might they might get a feel for that. You know, they're really welcome, so to speak, there.
Yeah, you go to the bagel store, you go get a newspaper, racing form. All you see are other trainers, jockeys. It's all horses. You know, you go into the deli, they're only talking horses. And every single one of these stores has like TVG or the OTB channel. So even if you're not at the track and you're walking around town, you're going to be involved.
And the daily racing form is easy to get as the daily newspaper there. That's for sure, wherever you go. Taking a look at the second of the 2 stakes races today, that's the Wild Applause. Now, it's scheduled for a mile on the inner turf course for 3-year-old fillies, and unless you have some monsoon type of rainstorm come between now and then. It'll stay on the turf. And we have 2 scratches in the race, number 3 especially, which was a long shot at 15-1, and 8 Ruth, which was main track only, I guess. So
by the way, especially was entered hoping that the rains did come because she never ran on turf either. So I have a feeling they were hoping that, there was a chance of rain. So that's why they entered her. But that's why they're scratching her, because it will stay on the grass.
All right, and so now we have 6 going in this race, but it looks like the big favorite there, Play with Fire with Flavian Pratt, although Irad rides Lavender Disaster, and as I was going through the jockey predictions from the last year, it seems like these 2 guys know the layout very well at Saratoga.
Well, Chad Brown has 2 of the 6 horses remaining in the race, and believe it or not, his other horse, Midway Memories, she's a 3-year-old filly, and she's only run twice, but she's pretty good. So she's 6-1. The other Chad Brown horse will be the big favorite, Play with Fire. You were talking about how good Pratt does here. Well, Pratt gets to ride basically first call for Chad Brown, who for the last couple of years has just been dominating up here. So no surprise that his stats are so good, but they may be inflated because of the connections he rides for.
Let me ask you this. Who trains Lavender Disaster, the 7 horse?
Lavender Disaster is trained by Chad Brown.
There you go. Chad Brown has 3 in the race, my man, not just 2, and the 2 favorites out of the 3 in the race.
Right. So you can pull Bob Baffert here and go for the longest of the 3, and that would be the horse I was talking about, Midway Memories.
Yeah.
You're right, Ralph.
They ought to put up a prop, the Chad Brown trifecta, and see if they can get that going there. That's for sure. But in any case, yeah, he looks like he's got a pretty good full Nelson on this race. The Wild Applause. Never know. But man, I got to tell you, right, out of the 3, if you're looking for that old adage, the longest priced out of the horses that are uncoupled in an entry with Chad Brown, 6-1 is a juicy price in that race.
Yeah, absolutely is. And listen, again, lightly raced, only 2 starts, so she certainly has room for improvement and may be worth a play at the price.
No kidding. And that, of course, is the Wild Applause, which is the second of the 2 stakes races today. But, there's an interesting stakes race that comes up on Saturday amongst all of those stakes races that they have coming up in the next couple of days over the weekend at Saratoga, and that is the Kelso Stakes. Now, it's only a Grade 3 at a mile on the inner turf course. Hopefully they keep it there. But they've got 8 entered in the race, and then they've got 4 also eligible for main track only in the race. And among them are 2 horses that I think will go very well on the main track, and that is Yo Daddy and Winstock, but only if it goes on the main track. But in the meantime, you have this field is, I think, one of the most competitive fields over the weekend at Saratoga. Neat breaks from the rail. You got Intellect, Think Big, which probably will be one of the choices there. And, of course, then you have Donegal Momentum, Nantasket Beach, Mountain Bear, an Irish bred horse, Arzak, Win for the Money. I mean, out of the 8 horses, you got to think that at least 6 of them have a decent chance of winning that race. It's really a hell of a race.
Absolutely, Ralph. I agree with you. It's really a competitive race, and you can make a case for a lot of horses. Intellect and Flavian Pratt drew inside, so that's a big edge at a mile on the inner turf course here. But again, a horse like Win for the Money coming off of a layoff for trainer Mark Cassie, who last year really turned things around. Previous to last year, he had kind of slow meets up here, to be honest with you. But last year, he really, everything he sent out ran well. And you were talking about Dylan Davis as, getting the best bang for your buck. And the reason that was, Ralph, is because last year he really started to, step up and become an elite rider in New York. And it started at the winter meet, and it carried through Saratoga. And, people were just naturally gravitating towards the Ortiz brothers and Pratt, and they just kind of ignored Dylan Davis, and it turned out to be a big mistake.
Well, I can say this, that Dylan Davis, during that time when he was kind of maturing, if you can use that word,
Right.
During the winter meet at Aqueduct, I noticed that some of the bigger trainers that had a few horses that were there also started using Dylan Davis there, and he started producing for them there. and that gave him a big, big leg up when they got to Saratoga, when all the big guys were there with the big horses and the big stables and the big trainers. But those trainers, I think, said, you know what, this guy did well for us at the Aqueduct meet during the winter. Let's give him a shot, and he produced.
You're 100% right. The late Christopher Clement, who passed away a month ago or so, he really gave him a shot in the arm. I mean, he used him during the winter, and Davis performed well. And you're right, he carried the momentum into Saratoga, and other trainers followed along. Listen, he's a terrific rider, Ralph. If you watch him every day, day in and day out, he's as good as there is. And he got the opportunity. And, a lot of times these guys, all they need is an opportunity. They get into a big barn and they get a big horse and they stick with him, and it just mushrooms into more business.
And it's always entertaining to see him in a race with his sister, and with two horses that do figure, because it must be one hell of a conversation at the dinner table that night, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But in any case, we have opening day at Saratoga. And of course, I ask you, as I always ask all the other handicappers, before we get too far into the meet, and of course, this will carry over to the regular Saratoga meet, any different idiosyncrasies in handicapping from the basics that folks should know out there for Saratoga?
Well, it's somewhat of a speed-favoring racetrack for the most part, and the turf courses are the same. The outer turf course, you have a better shot if you're a closer, and on the inner turf course, you want to show speed, because speed wins a lot of those races on the turf. And the 5.5 furlong turf races usually are also won by horses up front. And again, horses for courses, see who's run well in the past over them.
All right, you got it, Jonathan. Well, you know what? We still have some of that $17 mutual that you gave us on Sunday left, and we want to parlay it to get a bankroll going this weekend for the holiday. So, let's get some barbecue money today.
Okay, let's look at the 10th race today at Saratoga. And obviously, this is a turf-only selection, but I could guarantee you, well, I could hope that they're going to be on the grass. The rain looks like it certainly has cleared out. And I like the number 3 horse in here, La Salvadona. This is a 4-year-old filly. Go watch her replay last time out. It was run at Saratoga, and Flavien Prat doesn't give many bad rides, but he was in a tough situation because she was hung out wide and she kept coming. She ran very well that day. Draws a much better post, 7-2 on the morning line. I like number 3, La Salvadona, to win today's 10th race out at Saratoga. By the way, they have 11 of them for opening day.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long day.
I know that I kind of mispronounce horses a lot, but I think the name of this horse is La Salvadorina.
Okay, so I pronounced it wrong. As long as you go to the winner.
Well, you know what? You pronounce it. All we want to pronounce it do is a winner, right?
Exactly.
Okay, you got it. In the 10th race, number 3, however you pronounce it, let's call it a winner. The 3 horse in the 10th race today at Saratoga. A quick 5.5 furlong race on the turf. It'll be a full field, too. There are already 3 scratches out of that race. The 11 and 12, I should say just 2. The 11 and 12 are out of that race, out of the 14 that were scheduled to go. So it's going to be a full starting gate for that. But let's hope Flavien Prat does what he normally does, finds the best route to the winner's circle.
Thank you, Ralph. Stay safe and be well.
Well, now you've got a full sheet today for Saratoga, right?
Yes, JONHARDOON.com.
All right, you got it, my man. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you tomorrow. And now we'll go to our next break. And when we come back, I do believe I saw Rich Eng getting ready to come on board. So Rich Eng is standing next. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Here we are in Houston, opening up our first veteran village. This beautiful building that's going to house 161 homeless veterans. Any veteran that risks their lives and are struggling with PTSD, mental illness, addiction. We're also building what I call comfort homes, 500 square foot homes. These are for older homeless veterans, so they have their own space and give them back some of their dignity, some of their independence, and most certainly give them back their life. Go to T2T.org to learn how you can change a veteran's life forever.
If you're celebrating a special occasion or just love fine dining, you're in the right place. Come experience the crown jewel of South Point restaurants, Michael's Gourmet Room.
Welcome.
With over 600 different types of wines and magnificent dishes prepared tableside, you'll revel in the rich classic Vegas decor and the best black tie service in the world. This intimate gourmet room has earned accolades galore. Come to Michael's Gourmet Room for an unforgettable dining experience. Another famous restaurant is the Silverado Steakhouse, where you'll find the charm and service that discerning patrons require. From top quality steaks and chops to fresh seafood and desserts, you'll love the award-winning wine list and menu at Silverado Steakhouse. Steak lovers have even more options with primarily prime rib. Catering to hearty appetites, the menu features a variety of flavorful prime rib cuts, dry aged to ensure tenderness, and then seasoned and slowly roasted. Although prime rib is our specialty, it's not the only thing on the menu. There's something for everyone.
All righty, back on Race Day Las Vegas. Now it's time to go out to Rich Eng standing by. Richie, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ralphie. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, listeners.
I got to ask you, Richie, it was those gale force winds came out here the other day, and I got to say, out of all the time I lived in Vegas, I never remember the wind being that intense and that damaging. But you made out okay in your part of the world there in Vegas?
Yeah, no damage to the house, no damage around the house, but I did see, as I was driving around, lots of lights were out, a lot of power was out, and there were trees that definitely got knocked over, Ralph. It was really, really strong.
And we're not talking about these trees that were just planted like in a year. We're talking about the trees that have been there for a while that got uprooted. It was really intense for a while there, but I'm glad it all worked out for everybody, and we'll be okay. And of course, in addition to that, with beautiful weather coming up this weekend here in Las Vegas, we're going to have about 340,000 of our closest guests come up and enjoy that. And as far as the predictions are concerned for the fireworks, I do believe that it's going to be fine. The winds are gone. Let's keep our fingers crossed on that. Hey, you were teasing us the other day about a horse that you love in the Belmont Derby Invitational. Of course, that comes up tomorrow. Now, of course, in that race, there were an original field of 8. But in that race, Flying Mohawk, of course, is going to be scratched because he came down with colic, had surgery. He's doing fine, but he won't be in the race. And your horse, trained by Brad Cox, ridden by Flavien Prat, Final Gambit, is the 5-2 favorite in the race. But he's going to take up some nice Euro horses that are coming in. 3 British-bred horses amongst the field that's left of the 7.
Yeah, he, his claim to fame was winning the Jeff Ruby Stakes over at Tapeta at Turfway Park. And if people remember that race, and I watched the race very, very closely, he was about 20 lengths behind the field going around the far turn, and he made the kind of move that turf horses make. Ralph, he just finished like a banshee on the outside. He drew away to win by daylight. And, even his run in the Kentucky Derby, Ralph, he came from far back to finish 4th.
Yeah.
And so he's got a turf way of going. And so I thought it was just a matter of time before Brad Cox switches from dirt to turf. That race in the Matt Wynn, for example, where he finished 4th, he closed well, but he didn't have much pace to close into. It was like a four-horse field. But he should see some pace, and he should finish, and it'll be an interesting assignment because Brad Cox has all kinds of stakes horses. He doesn't really dominate in the turf area, but if this horse runs well tomorrow, he may have himself a very nice turf horse for the summer.
Well, Flavien Prat would get the best out of him. Usually, I thought the Belmont Derby Invitational was like a marathon race of 1.5 miles or something, but I see it's only 1 1/8 tomorrow at Belmont Park. Enough distance to get his closing up?
Well, it better be, Ralph. I'm playing him. Put it this way, I'm playing him because I've been sitting on this horse for a while.
All right, you got it. And that, of course, is tomorrow, big racing day on the 4th of July across the country, really. Today, though, we have an opening day at Belmont at Saratoga. And as I ask all the handicappers, refreshing the memory for all of the listeners out there who are handicapping, any idiosyncrasies, differences in Saratoga off of the basic handicapping principles?
Well, a lot of racetracks are horses for courses, and Saratoga is certainly one of them. And it's just a fantastic, fantastic meet of racing. They've got a couple of turf courses. The main track is really good. And I heard you and Jonathan talking about how it's horse country at Saratoga. I still remember my first summer working at Saratoga in 1979, Ralph. I could not believe that the NYRA gave me a check to go up there to rent a place to stay, and they were paying me to go there. And that first meet at Saratoga for me, 4 weeks, 6 days of racing. You talk about burning the candle.
Yeah.
By the time the 4 weeks were over, you were exhausted and ready to come back home.
But it was a fun type of exhaust, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, I know that you don't do a New York sheet, and I know that you'll be back with your handicapping for Los Alamitos tomorrow, but I know also that you come, each and every day you come up on the show that you don't have a regular sheet at Southern California. You always try to search out a pick for us. Do you have one today?
Yeah, yesterday's horse disappointed me. Was making a rally and flattened out late, finished third, but I'm glad Dwayne held up the flag for race day, Ralph, with a nice winner at Horseshoe.
Yeah.
Let's go to Saratoga Race 8. It is a mile on the grass. It is a wild applause. I heard you and Jonathan talking about this. It's like the Chad Brown Invitational. He's got 3 of the horses in the field, but a trainer who had 2 horses in the field, Sherry DeVoe, scratched one of them, number 3 especially. But I like the other horse that stays in the race, the number 2, Love and Poetry, 8-1 in the morning line. I have every reason to believe you'll get that because the Chad Brown horses will all get bet underneath Love and Poetry. And if you take a look at the race 2 back, Ralph, at the fairgrounds, this horse actually finished in front of the favorite, the 6, Play with Fire. So I know this horse is good enough. And if I can get 8-1 in Sherry DeVoe with Joel Rosario, I'll give this horse a big chance. Number 2, Love and Poetry, race 8.
All right, we're going to go against Chad Brown and the volume of horses that he has, and Sherry has her single winner in there at Love and Poetry. 8-1 on the morning line is nice and juicy in that field, that's for sure. Let's hope we can hold that and win as well. In the 8th race, number 2, Love and Poetry. Rich Ang's play in the 8th race today at Belmont at Saratoga. And, of course, Richie, you'll be back to work for Los Alamitos tomorrow. In the meantime, let's have a great day of racing at Belmont, and we'll Belmont at Saratoga, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, thanks, Ralph. Good luck, everybody.
All right, you got it. When we come back, we'll wrap it up with John Lendo, who will be in studio with us tomorrow, but he's still in Southern California today, and I still have Jerry Jackowitz picks to give you. Don't go away.
South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style Paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world.
The Southern California Thoroughbred Racing Circuit is back at Los Alamitos Racecourse with 9 great days of racing starting on Friday, June 20th. The opening weekend will feature the $100,000 Bertrando Stakes. Plus, the summer meet will include the running of the Los Alamitos Derby on Saturday, June 28th. We'll also have a holiday racing program on Friday, 4th of July. And our on-track handicapping contest will be on Saturday, June 28th. Daytime racing returns to Los Alamitos. Opening day is Friday, June 20th.
The Race Day Las Vegas Show, the only exclusive daily local media racing information source in Las Vegas.
All righty, back on Race Day Las Vegas. An update on Jerry Jackowitz for you guys who are fans of his. He's wrapping up his long vacation, and he'll be heading back to Las Vegas soon, I guess between today and tomorrow. He will not have a Los Alamitos Jerry J. Power page for tomorrow, the 4th of July. He will have a Saratoga Power page for tomorrow, July 4th. And then he will return with us as well as his full tilt power pages on Saturday. So that's the latest from Jerry Jackowitz as I get the text message from him. We're going to go to the fourth race for my interpretation of a pick from him today. In the fourth race at Saratoga, we're going to take number 7, Ragtime Sizzle. 2-1 on the morning line. Jose Ortiz aboard. Number 7, Ragtime Sizzle. Looks like this horse will hold that price because it is a competitive race. We're going to take the 7 over 2, 3, and 8. The 7 over 2, 3, and 8, and reverse. The 7 horse in the fourth race is the power page play interpreted by yours truly from Jerry J today. So that's his pick, fourth race, the 7. All right, now let's go out to John Lendo standing by. Now, John, you have a Lendo report for today at Saratoga, right?
Good morning, Ralph. Yeah, I do. We'll have full cards all weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well, and back to Los Alamitos as well tomorrow. All
right. And, of course, not only will you be back to Los Alamitos tomorrow, but you'll be back here in studio with us tomorrow as well as you're making your way up sometime today. Taking a look at Saratoga, I will ask you, same as I asked all the other handicappers, any idiosyncrasies besides the main, the principles, the basic principles of handicapping when it gets to Saratoga?
Well, here's an angle with a trainer. Watch Linda Rice. She was extremely busy in Kentucky, claiming tons and tons of horses to bring back to New York. She hits the ground running this weekend. She's got a lot of horses entered the first couple of days, and they're all dropping in class. You know what the intention was. Get some horses out here, win some races in New York. I don't care what the price is. I don't think it's a great business model, but if the owners can afford to do it, it's a good way to win races. So she's dropping a bunch of them the first 2 days, and let's see how they stack up against the New York horses. I got a feeling she wants to make a statement.
Well, I can tell you here at Race Day Las Vegas, I, along with all the listeners out there, appreciate those angles that our handicappers bring to this show for them that they don't get in other places. That's a great observation there, John, because Linda Rice, as we know, is a very, very capable and trainer. And if she's taking that maneuver, you know that when she's dropping them in and getting them in at Saratoga, she's not playing around. She wants to win races and win them early. And really, I guess, doesn't care if they get claimed or moved.
No, and you know, when you're doing that with the cost of shipping and everything else, all the training in between, and then you drop 2 or 3 levels, you almost have to win to get out. So it's not like you can just give them a run just to be out there. You've got to win some races. So, you know, it's a tricky situation, and you got to have the owners that have really the intestinal fortitude to go ahead and do it. And
yeah, so
we'll see what happens. But she's extremely aggressive this weekend.
Yeah, she's got to be. She's got to get the support from the people who signed the checks. That's for sure. And we will keep an eye on that, especially the horses you say that she has gotten from the Kentucky circuit.
Right. Kentucky actually changed the claiming rules because of Linda Rice out there. If you claim a horse in Kentucky, you want to take them out of state, you got to run them once in Kentucky and then you can move them, or you have to wait until 60 days after the meet. So she ran some of these horses, or she sat them out, and she's been doing a lot of maneuvering, getting ready for this meet. Yeah,
I would imagine that particular rule to run them at least once before you take them out of state gives an opportunity of the horse. The person that you claim the horse from, if you put him back in a claimer, to reclaim the horse and keep it in Kentucky.
Well, yeah, and they were real busy at the claim box at Churchill Downs and Keeneland. They were lined up for horses out there. So if you ran a horse where it fit, you were probably selling the horse out there just because the purses are so big in Kentucky. Yeah, no question about that. Good observation there, and that's why I asked you guys these questions. And certainly with the Linda report that covers all the races today at Belmont at Saratoga, all 11 races with selections, a suggested late pick 4, and you know how powerful that's been lately, and all the goody information as well as far as the betting menu, etc. All on one comprehensive Linda report. It is only in one place in this gaming capital, here at the South Point in the Racebook. It is free of charge, complimentary, because they love horse players here. And we'd love to get your selection for today here, John. Let's go to race 7 at Saratoga. In the 7th race today, number 3, Chess Masters, a 9-year-old. that was rained off the turf last time. I'm fingers crossed. I think they're going to stay on the grass today, and that's what he wants. He fits the starter allowance condition perfectly. By 1 month, he qualifies. He's got tactical speed in a race without a ton of early speed. He ought to be in the race from the start, and I just think getting back on the grass will get him over the top. 7-2 in the program. Number 3, Chess Master. Race number 7, Saratoga.
And they have several pick 5s that go today at Saratoga. They will have a pick 5 starting in the first race, the third race, the fifth race, and that seventh race. And in that seventh race, you have number 3, Chess Master, as your play. Your pick, number 3, Chess Master, in the seventh race at Belmont at Saratoga today. Don't forget, get the rest of the Linda Report here at the South Point in the racebook here, free of charge, complimentary. Again, because they love horse players here. And John, we can't wait to see you sitting right next to me here on set for the next 2 days. Of course, the 4th of July holiday tomorrow and on Saturday as well. It's going to be a really neat 4th of July holiday here. And hopefully those winds will stay away so we can get to all of the great fireworks as well here in Vegas as we celebrate our independence here in America. That's for sure. All right, John, well, we wish you safe travels on the road up here. I know that you'll probably negotiate a little bit of traffic coming up here maybe today, but be patient, and everything will be fine, and we'll see you in studio here tomorrow. In the meantime, we are wrapping up this July 3rd Race Day Las Vegas show by reminding everybody out there who is also traveling on the roads here to also be safe, be careful, and for goodness sakes, just be patient. In the meantime, John, you got one more thing to say, buddy.
Have a great race day, everybody.